Well, welcome back to Talk Dodgers to Me.
Episode 2 with Melissa and Allie.
Yay.
I just said your name for you. She could say her own name, but I figured I like first names. That's what I learned from episode 1.
We learned a lot from episode 1.
Ixnay last names.
What's your middle name?
Anne, but that's
mine too.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Melissa Ann Meyer.
Stop it. E or no E?
No E.
Same!
Wow.
Allison Ann Parker, technically.
Whoops.
We just learned this. I told you we would learn things about each other
and
that we didn't know.
bat references make the first episode, this is what we're talking about. So for the second game 2 of last year's postseason, it was depressing, and I drank. This was filled with beer, and I kept it because how cute.
Because that's what we should all do when we're depressed: is drink bats of beer. I'm kidding.
I really
Don't do
just
that.
wanted to keep the bat. But I did.
That's fair. You really wanted the souvenir more than the alcohol inside of it.
A lot.
I like that. Well, and we have our fun little mocktails here.
Yes.
Really, it's just I wanted something fun. So pomegranate juice and sparkling water. Mm-hmm. Cheers to that.
Imagine if they were real cocktails.
It's no, that would
We'd really go all over the place.
Look, that would be an entirely different show. And maybe one day we do an episode that way.
Maybe.
Just to see, but...
Not yet. We're not there yet.
Anywho, here we are, episode 2, back at it. Mm-hmm. We are...
It's baseball season.
Technically, baseball season is 5 games in. Mm-hmm. Dodgers are 7 games in.
Well, the first week of baseball. The first series.
Yeah. The first series, we're into the second series. Last night started the second series of games.
How are you feeling about it?
Is going to have to keep us updated on
game 2,
the game
Giants
tonight,
Dodgers.
because it starts 7:10 and we are recording this at
We're
6:30.
having a bullpen game. Ryan Yarborough is starting, and we're going up against Logan Webb, who does pretty well against us.
He does do pretty well
but not
against
today.
us. He does. And so I'm going to
I'm
need...
feeling a Shohei homer today.
Oh, I like it. His first of... No, not
Once
first of the first of, I guess, being back home. Because he
hasn't hit one.
He didn't hit one in Korea?
No.
I thought he did.
I think just
Maybe I'm just
training.
thinking of Mookie, because freaking Mookie's been killing
Mookie, Marcus Lynn Betts.
Oh, we love him. He's been on a tear.
We could do this whole episode about him.
He has been on a tear.
Because I'm obsessed with him. Everything about him right now. And he's killing it.
I saw it. I think I sent it to you. I'm going to look it up. We're going to pull out the phone real quick. He is not only just destroying the game from an offensive standpoint. That speaks for itself. But apparently, Mookie Betts is leading the league in every hitting stat imaginable while also being first in defensive runs saved as shortstops. Granted, that was 2 days ago. Very possible that has changed. So,
wow.
Once again,
how did
not
he
a
not
journalist.
get NL Player of the Week? I actually wrote a comment on
He's mine.
MLBs, and I wrote, Mookie Betts, question mark?
Of course, you did.
You'll find random comments from me. Have you ever seen one?
Some of your comments? I think I actually have on like Dodgers or Sports Nation or whatever.
I love Sujo, another person I would love to get on here. She's the head of Dodger social media.
Yeah.
The captions are so good.
She's witty.
So
She's a witty one.
Really witty. Really funny.
Maybe
I love
she could
it.
get a good tagline for us. We could just
Talk
reach out.
Dodgers to me.
Do we need a tagline beyond that? Or is that our tagline? Our title and our tagline. But all that it says, yes. Marcus Lynn Betts he's on fire. I mean, the dude is killing it, and he is taking no prisoners alongside that. So, speaking of it, do we want to talk about, who can suck it?
Miles. Shut up. You mean Miles Michaelis, who I said his name wrong the whole time? Episode 1?
Yeah.
Well, Miles, have anything to say for yourself after your comments?
Adam's losing it.
Because we sure stuck it to you.
Stuck it, not suck it. That's what that says.
Actually, last week I said,
well, I read
we're going to get
wrong.
homer after homer after homer against him.
Well, and we did.
And who was up first? Our favorite Mookie Betts. And what happened?
Mr. Mookie. Well,
lead off homer.
He did. He said, "Take that, buddy."
I love those comments. I think that's what fires them up.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you see his face watching them just get hit after hit?
Uh-huh.
Honestly, watching this first series, it's been so satisfying.
It was fun.
What I love the most is like station to station. Mookie gets on base. Like last night, gets a triple. Shohei, double, gets on base. Freddie gets another hit, gets on base.
Dude, Freddie's double and then his like slide in where he like went around.
He's really flexible.
It's a great moment. I can't do the splits, but that man sure can.
How'd you think? I can't speak. What did you think about his slide compared to Rhys Hoskins? Am I saying that right? Rhys Hoskins.
I don't think I saw Rhys's, but I thought you were gonna say Trey Turner, and I was like, dude.
Oh well, nothing compares.
Trey's is like butter.
It's smooth like butter.
We love butter.
Nothing compares to that, but
that is true.
The effort from Freddie.
I do love the effort. I love his tenacity.
Speaking of Freddie,
to get there.
Did you watch Charlie throw the first pitch? Yeah. On his bobblehead night? Okay, he's the cutest, and what a life he has.
I mean,
hanging out at the ballpark with these superstars all the time.
I mean, that was my dream. My dream was to be the child of a baseball star. Didn't happen, but, thanks, Dad. What are you doing with your life? No,
Charlie threw a perfect pitch. Perfect strike. He really did.
Well, he's probably bound to be a baseball player, considering the genes that are coming down the pipe for him.
That was really sweet.
It was. But how great is it to have baseball back?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy.
Like, I don't know about you, but I spent this entire weekend, I wasn't feeling too hot, which was a perfect excuse to just kind of stay on the couch the entire weekend and flip back and forth between all baseball and March Madness and to continue to watch those games. Happening. Which update, I am sadly no longer in second place. I know I mentioned that last episode. I think I'm in like 6th now. There's no chance to win. So now I'm just full on Alabama winning it for the first time ever. Although I wouldn't be mad about NC State getting, another title because they haven't. Well, Alabama's never won it, so that would be very nice. But NC State won it in 1983, and that was an incredible run. Like they had it. There's a doc on it on ESPN Plus called Survive and Advance. It's really good. I very much enjoyed it. I watched it the other night, and they had no business essentially being in that tournament, let alone winning the entire thing. And no one thought they were gonna.
Underdog.
It's a massive underdog story. Really intriguing. Obviously, Jimmy V was the coach. He's legendary in his own right, and so. It was a very lovely doc, so if anyone's interested, like you should watch it.
I wish I could talk to you about March Madness, but I don't.
Yeah. But all I'll say is there's my quick little tangent into March Madness as I am no longer going to win that. So let's go with either massive upsets, either Alabama. Let's do an Alabama-NC State.
I'll root for them just for you.
Like championship game, because that I'm in it, and then Alabama I gotta root for my team, so.
All right. Well, unlike you, I was feeling fine over the weekend,
well,
chose to stay home on Friday night and watch the game.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier. Sitting there, I ordered food, and I was so happy to just be watching baseball. Mm-hmm. And what a game.
Oh, God.
Our pitching.
It was beautiful.
I was having the best time by myself, standing up, yelling.
Oh, yeah. No, our pitching right now is on fire with our starters.
It just kept getting better and better. Tyler Glasnow was so good.
So good. And then can we talk about that little bounce back from Mr. Yamamoto?
I knew it.
What'd I say last week?
You know what,
I'm not going to repeat what I said last week. But what did I say?
You didn't want him to blow his load?
And he did, and he didn't blow it all. Look at that.
That was a really quick. It was a really quick bounce back.
It was.
I thought it would take a little more time, but he probably was.
The sexual innuendos over here just flying off the wall.
He was like, "That is not happening again." Mm-hmm. He went from being the best player everyone wants him to he sucks.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, calm down. It's one game.
A little bit of an overreaction.
It's a really long season.
But that was a great start to game 2. Mm-hmm. And then game 3, Bobby Miller.
Oh, 11 strikeouts. Did you see, I think I sent it to you on Instagram, did you
Bueller?
see the Bueller side by side to Bobby Miller?
I did.
And their mechanics? They look almost identical, and it was
really crazy how similar they were.
It was gorgeous.
I did hear one of his interviews
Bobby.
saying Bueller's really been a mentor to him.
Oh, good.
However,
that's another reason I love this team.
I know.
They look out for each other. It's not just a selfish,
excited
one-track minded team or like individualized team.
Have you seen Kershaw in the dugout?
Yeah, he's been
I
on the.
I have to send you the video.
Headsets.
We send each other videos of baseball all day. There's a video of
I promise
Kershaw
I do work.
and Yamamoto just like doing the grips and showing each other what they do. Loved that. One of the pitching coaches, he came on and David Vassay asked him if he sees a comparison with Bueller and Bobby, and he did not like that.
Really?
He did not like them saying that. And he said, actually, I see more of a similarity to Kirsch.
For Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but that's only the highest dang praise you could ever get. But only in the
like growl emotion that he did, I think.
Oh.
That was the only comparison. And Bobby did give off that growl that we talked about last episode.
Yeah, he did.
What a moment.
I love the enthusiasm from the kid. Like he's out there and he's like,
he's a
I'm
star.
gonna do it.
You could tell how much confidence he's gained in such a short amount of time and how much he wants to contribute and help this team.
Yeah.
And I love it.
No, he does. One thing I will say though, and I was telling Adam a little about this earlier today, that is my tiff.
With Bobby?
Not with Bobby. Oh. Bobby's great. No, we're transitioning. It was a bad transition, but we're doing it nonetheless. No, this is my transition into.
Is Adam laughing or cringing back there?
He's getting a good giggle. We're hoots. What can I say? No, I have a tiff with the whole probability that they put on screen, like win probability.
I know. I did not like that.
Okay, Nick and I were talking about it. Here is my issue with the win probability. You can be in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and be down by 6 runs. And still have a freaking chance to come back and win the game. And it's happened before. We've watched the games. That's what's so great about baseball is there's always a chance. You're not completely out until that 3rd out at the bottom of the 9th. So that's why the win probability to me doesn't work for baseball. Because win.
It also didn't work for Shohei when the bases were loaded.
Yeah, that part was sad. That part, I was like,
really
he had this moment and I wanted him to be able to do it. I was like, you have the moment to like be
he'll get it together.
The guy.
He's still working it out and finding his timing, which is what he keeps saying.
Yes.
His timing is off.
He will, and it's okay. Like he's going to be just fine.
Once he gets going, he'll be on fire.
Agree. But the next game, we're down. Teoscar comes up, hits a home run, 4-3. Then freaking Muncy, God bless him, love Muncy.
What a Muncy moment.
We're gonna talk about that at bat for a second, but his home run puts us ahead. And before Teoscar's home run, the percentages at the top said like it was like 15% that we were gonna like lose. And what's the math?
Was it distracting
85%
when they were putting that up?
That the Cardinals were gonna win. And then as soon as Muncy's, it swapped and it was like they're 15 and now you're 85. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like the swings are so crazy and so quick that the win probability doesn't make sense to me in baseball. We may be the only people, plus Nick, that don't like it. But the beauty of baseball, the magic of baseball are the moments where the impossible can become possible and it can be...
In a world that's so improbable, the impossible happened.
We love you, Vince Scully. We missed you. Rest in peace. You were loved. Mm-hmm. But that's my point, is that's why we love this game, is anything can happen at any moment. And so win probability kind of goes out the window in that moment because it's not like they have 30 seconds left, and if they don't get 5 runs in that 30 seconds, then they lose the game. No, you can have 2 outs, but as long as every guy either gets on base or hits a home run and doesn't record an out, you can get 7 runs.
What did it say for the win probability when Muncy came up before he hit that homer?
I can't remember if it was Teoscar or if it was Muncy.
Because I think Muncy does like really well 15. In those moments where people are doubting him. Remember when...
I'll need to look back. I will watch the next game.
Tony La Russa, is that the coach who... This is a couple of years ago. But it's something I had never seen before. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think it was Trey Turner who was up. He had 2 strikes on him. Freddie was already on base. Yeah, Trey Turner had 2 strikes on him. Mm-hmm. And they walked him.
Yeah. Oh my God, I remember.
I had
that.
never seen that before. So Muncy's going up like, that. Freddie they all look confused.
They walked him because they thought Muncy would be an easier out, and I'm like, oh, you just pissed off a big old man.
So Muncy gets up there, and what does he do?
He's like, bye-bye.
He hits the crap out of it.
He's like, see you later.
When he hits a homer.
Oh, it's the most gorgeous thing. My favorite thing might be being in the stadium when Muncy hits a homer and they play Funky Muncy, and I'm jamming out to
he knows Muncy, you know the second he hits it
Muncy,
that it's out of here.
Max Muncy.
And him just standing there for a moment, little backflip, and gets so into it. Oh my gosh.
You heard it, the crack of the bat.
Oh, how
you knew that
immediately
was a home run. And also, if you look closely, when he hits it, the thing comes around and he just it looks like he kind of does a little wave to the ball. I don't think it was intentional, but it looks like he's waving.
Notice that.
And I was like,
I thought he was like, Miles Michaelis, take that.
Oh, well, he probably was thinking that too. Although
he wasn't pitching.
That wasn't that game that he pitched. But that's what's great though about this is that game wasn't the top of the lineup. That was the middle of the order. Mm-hmm. So it's not just our 1, 2, 3, 4 that pitchers have to worry about and other teams are going to have to prepare for.
I know.
We got a pretty badass middle of the order. And honestly, really tough. Even the bottom of the order has its moments where you're like, okay, go ahead, Lux. Go ahead, Outman. Like, it's... So...
They're a really hard team. Hard lineup. Really hard lineup. And they're going to be a really tough 27 outs. That's what it is, right?
They will indeed. And what I do hope and pray for, at least this year, is that translates into the postseason. Because unfortunately, last year we had a pretty badass lineup too, and our bats went hella cold in the postseason. So but it's a new year, it's a new day.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I got to take it back to Mookie Betts, because I just am really obsessed with him at the moment.
We're happy to bring it back to Mookie.
And I was thinking, forever. All right, I'm very analytical. In just thinking about Mookie Betts, and since he's come to our team, I've loved him since the beginning, but I don't feel like he's really, really embraced being a Dodger and like feeling that Dodger pride, maybe until last year. And I think a lot of it had to do with JD Martinez coming, and that's his best friend. Mm-hmm. And maybe, the comfort of having like your best friend, like Shohei and Yamamoto, they got each other at least.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's really coming out of his shell. He's really embracing being in LA, loving the city, connecting with the community. He's doing all these events around LA, which I love. And listening to him in interviews, I just really respect his mindset, his work ethic, his talent. And I think that this challenge for him of being shortstop is why he's performing so well right now. Mm. It's like when you do something you're scared of, like this.
Terrified.
And you set a goal or just lean into something that you want for yourself and you do it anyway, follow the fear, and you start to see results from the work you're putting into it. Yeah. That really builds your confidence. Mm-hmm. And he's watching, and I heard he's going to the ballpark an hour earlier than normal to practice.
He's one of the best in the game, and yet he's like not good enough yet. He's
taking on this challenge, doing what he has to do for the team, and it's starting to pay off. I thought he played really well.
He did. And his defense is definitely improving.
Is improving, and it's now affecting his offense, and it's amazing. And I can only imagine how he's motivating the people in the lineup behind him.
Yeah. No, completely agree. Well, and I was listening to the guys.
So, Team Mookie Betts.
Oh, well, always.
On base.
We're on base with Mookie Betts. We steal his little.
This is our competition
tagline. No. We can support each other in this endeavor.
No, I'm competitive in sports, but not with people.
We are not remotely in the league of Mookie Bets.
Mookie, you want to come on? We're just recruiting everyone.
We'll take
send them these little clips
any and all guests.
You know what? I like to say
they're gonna get restraining orders. It's gonna be great.
One of the goals I have would be one day to throw the first pitch at Dodger Stadium.
What?
How cool would that be?
That would be awesome.
If Charlie Freeman can do it.
he might know a guy.
I know
that you don't.
Well, soon we're gonna know Ashley Kelly.
That's true, and she can accomplish anything.
And just for our listeners, Ashley Kelly is married to Joe Kelly.
Oh yeah, I guess
not everybody we might need to give a little context sometimes.
That's fair. What, you don't know every sports player and just who they are? And actually, I don't know who they're all married to, but I think you might. So
I'll just keep.
That's where she'll keep us in check. I'll keep you
informed
because I don't know. I know Ashley Kelly because she did this incredible, essentially a marketing strategy, more or less. Do
you think she just did that randomly?
Shohei. That's a good question. Well, because I know Joe also really wanted him. If you don't know what we're
talking about, Ashley Nicole Kelly. Oh my God. I'm a psycho.
You know the middle name.
Right? I think that's her Instagram name.
Okay. I was like, I don't know.
It's her Instagram name. I don't know all their middle names, I swear. But, go on her Instagram and you'll see the videos she made trying to recruit Shohei Ohtani. And why she did it in particular is because Shohei Ohtani's number is 17, and that was Joe Kelly's number with the Dodgers. And so if Shohei were to come to the Dodgers, he would want his number.
Yeah.
And so Ashley was giving him permission and saying, not only am I giving you permission, you can have all the jerseys. You can have this one for your mom, this one for your lady.
Didn't she rename her child for him too? And that was great.
Yeah, scratched out his name, Kai, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Show Kai.
Yeah, there you go.
She's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
We just want to be her friend.
So that's where
that go and watch those videos. They're great, and you won't regret it.
No, you won't.
Do you agree with me about Mookie and settling in with the Dodgers?
I think so. I mean, I think he's been invested since he signed a 10-year deal with us. You can't not be invested in that.
Well, one more thing. He, after the postseasons that he hasn't performed in, his usual response to reporters is, "It is what it is."
Yeah.
And he was getting a lot of heat for that, including, I didn't like that he said that.
Yeah. Because you want him to care more about it.
Exactly. We want to know that you care that you didn't perform.
That there's
and
a
he acknowledged that
behind
this year.
it.
And he said, I know that people don't think that I'm showing my anger, but I'm more angry than all of you. I just don't show it on the outside. And learning from what he's doing this year, he's a lead by example guy, and I really see that from him this year. So
yeah, and I completely agree with that. Yeah,
he won me over.
I completely agree with that. We all process in a different way than other people, and just because he doesn't show it on the outside kicking and screaming doesn't mean that's not how he feels on the inside. But the fact that he acknowledged it of hey guys, I hear you, just know I'm more angry than you are. But because also imagine you do have to think about that as the guys playing the game. Yes, they make a lot of money and they get to play ball for a living. We would all be so lucky if we remotely had the talent. We do not. But I do think, that they carry the weight of that as well. It's not just shucks, didn't play well,
but
didn't make it pass. I think it
carries on them. And having to compartmentalize, we're not parents yet, but he's a dad. So once the game is over, he's going home, and he can't carry the weight of how horrible he feels into his home.
That is true.
Not be the best.
You have to remember.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I respect that that's what he does. And he's a present dad, and that's great.
Well, you have to remember it is just a game. And I know I say that being probably one of the most intense people when things don't go my way in a game than I want it to. So, but I have grown. There are years past. I had my roommate back, probably 10 years ago, maybe that was. I don't know. There was one moment where I was yelling so hard in an Alabama game and we lost and it was not good. She was like, do I need to hide the knives? Like, are you okay? She was genuinely concerned for me. So I like to say that I have grown. I recognize that it is not life or death. It is a sports game. And as much as we love the game, and I prioritize games a lot, and it's high on the list of things I care about and things to do. I do recognize that my life does not change drastically based on the outcome of these games.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to that, especially
so that's growth.
Learning and just becoming more knowledgeable about baseball has made me look at it differently, and really see things from all sides. Mm-hmm. Which is reminding me of a story.
Oh, story time with Melissa. Go.
Okay, so my first job in LA when I moved here was at Equinox.
Oh, the bougie gym. Mm-hmm. They do have really nice smelling towels, but I won't pay for the prices.
Oh, no, it was ridiculous, but it was fun working there for a little bit.
Did you get a free membership because you work there?
Only
because you should.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
To everyone except for the one that I worked at.
Interesting.
It was like the best one in Century City.
Okay. Interesting.
Which I liked better because I wouldn't want to see the people that I saw working there. However,
that's fair. Well, if this film crew doesn't work out, there's always Equinox.
I got fired. Oh. Well, we don't need to tell that story, but I'm proud of it.
What did you do? Oh.
So one day I'm working and Joe Torre comes in.
Stop. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as cool. I mentioned in episode 1, I was a Yankee fan growing up. Mm-hmm. And
so that's like an moment for you.
And to me, I've worked at lots of different places in LA, and I'm not really starstruck by people, more athletes.
Same.
Or anyone from Friends. So I'm 22, and I don't know as much as I know now about baseball. Mm-hmm. So I start talking to him, and I'm telling him I'm from New Jersey, and he was so nice and asking me questions, and it was baseball season. And I said, who are you rooting for? Hoping that he would say the Yankees. And he said, I don't root for teams, I root for players.
Oh, God, I love that.
And at the time, I was a little upset he didn't say Yankees. But since then, and since becoming a really big Dodger fan, and now watching players who I love go to different teams and learning about other teams and players, I really understand that and respect that. And I do root for players, even if they're on the Dodgers.
Yeah, you can't help to root for people that you've watched and that you have invested in and like. So yeah, that's a valid
really
answer.
Stuck with me. So thank you, Joe Torre, for that great moment.
Go ahead, Joe Torre. That is very similar to me with NFL, with football, because I don't, obviously, once again, being from Alabama, don't have an NFL team. Technically, my family should be a Cowboys fan because that's where I'm originally from, and family's Cowboys fans. Mm-hmm. But we watched them, but I also, because of, as I said last episode, my mom's just love of sports, we watched every game. So I didn't have a chance to fall deeply in love with just one team. I fell in love with players, and also I would follow Alabama players. And I don't know what to tell you, but every single NFL team has an Alabama player on it, I'm pretty sure. I think, don't quote me on this, and actually Mr. Statman back there, can you double check this for me? Facts wise. But last time I checked, there were 52 Alabama players in the NFL. That's an entire NFL football team. So
you really liked every team.
I was like, dude, how am I supposed to pick? So I had certain players I liked more than others, and that would be kind of how I ended up, what teams I really was rooting for more than another. But now I play fantasy football. That really screws you all up because I find myself rooting for the teams that I have on my fantasy team because I want my fantasy team to do well. So I'm rooting for those teams to do well.
There are 57 NFL players.
57. I lowballed them. I'm so sorry.
And that isn't even with, obviously, the draft coming up.
Oh, yeah. We got a draft coming up. We're going to.
What is the other thing I'm checking?
The
Patrick Mahomes wearing the same pair of underwear.
Oh my God, that was last episode. Yeah,
I
you can do
did
that.
Google it when I got home, and I was right.
Oh God, that's gross. But no, you're looking.
I think he washes the pair in between the games, but it's the same pair he wears.
Okay, well that's a little better. I can get down with that because, like, let's be honest, we all wear the same underwear, but
Maybe
we
not
wash
that
them.
often, but...
We wash them before you rewear them.
But as we discussed, athletes are very superstitious.
They are.
Did the Dodger game start yet?
Ooh, is it 7:10?
It's 7:23. Do we think that Mookie got a leadoff homer?
I need him to because nice transition into my beat the streak.
Can you tell me about that?
I need to. So
am I going to become obsessed?
Yeah, it's a good time. Not any more than you already are.
0-0.
Okay. That doesn't mean
Someone's on second, though.
He could still have a hit.
Who do you think's on second
Mookie
base?
Betts singles on a fly ball to second base. Yeah, baby.
Freeman singled to right. Betts scored. And that's just the first inning.
And that's how the
Gosh,
cookie
this makes me so
crumbles.
happy.
We love it. So I now have a streak of 2 because yesterday Corey Seager got a hit for me. Who did I pick?
Corey?
Yeah, Mr. Corey hits all the balls. Seager yesterday got me a hit, but then who was my pick? And then I will explain this beat the streak game. It's so much fun. History. Juan Soto, who was on a tear up until yesterday, went 0
He's
for
really
3.
winning over Yankee fans.
He went 0 for 3. He did have a walk, but he went 0 for 3. And so he made me lose my streak. So how beat the streak works, it's a very fun game where you just pick a player. You can double down. You can pick 2 players a day to get, they need to just get a hit. It just needs to be a single. Could be, double, triple, home run.
You pick 2 players each game?
You pick, no, not each game, per day. They can be from any of the teams. And I have an affinity to obviously want to pick the Dodger players because love them. And that's like low-hanging fruit, easy for me to just do.
Most of the good players are on the Dodgers.
That is also a fact. It makes a lot of sense to kind of pick the leadoff hitter because they're going to get more chances at bat. Yeah. But you need a hit. And the goal is if you can get, I think it's 56 in a row, meaning without picking a person to not, and they don't get a hit, you lose your streak. If you pick someone and they don't get a hit, and then you go back to 0 and you start over. And you could pick 1 if you want to only, but you could double down and you could pick 2. But if they both don't get a hit, you don't get those 2.
Are you playing against people?
You're playing against the game. There are other people who are playing.
So it's a solo game.
It's a solo game, but there's a lot of people playing it. The goal, technically, is you can win $5.6 million at the end of it if you got to 56 in a row.
Million, that's it?
I don't think anyone...
We want the $700 million. We want the Shohei money.
Can I get that Shohei money? I mean, hey, it would pay off Ippei's debts.
You know what I heard that I really liked? I listened to something and it said, the Dodgers have committed $1.062 billion. But I like how they said committed instead of spent. Because it's a commitment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just had to throw that in there because everyone only talks about the money, so I want to spin it, and it sounds better that way.
No, it sounds better
Adam and I
on like
talked
the credit
about,
card bill.
He tried to explain to me why money is different for the Dodgers than other teams, and why that's always everyone's go-to. And I did get him to admit that he doesn't really hate the Dodgers. What? He's just mad that the Cubs aren't as good.
Don't spend money the same way?
Am I right or am I right?
You're wrong.
You said that.
I need to know what did you really say?
I said I respect the Dodgers. I respect how they do things, but
I think it's very natural for me as not a fan of the Dodgers to not like the teams that always win. Just like when the Cardinals had their run, I respect the organization. I respect how they do things. I respect the fact that they're really good at baseball, but I don't like that they beat my team all the time.
Exactly. So he's just jealous. He hates them only because they beat the Cubs.
That's a competitive sports rivalry. Yeah, I'll allow it. That is a valid response. I would not like a team too if they beat me over and over again and we couldn't seem to win. But I do appreciate that you respect them. I do appreciate that you respect the organization and how they play the game. I would like to point out, yes, we might beat your team a lot, just like we beat my boyfriend's team a lot. Sorry, Nick. Actually, that's not always true. I feel like the Rockies sometimes do get our number every now and then.
Let's see. Once in a while.
Every once in a while.
See how they did
this
weekend.
Oh, they died game 1 against the Diamondbacks.
Swept? Oh,
wasn't that a 16?
They lost like 16
to like 1 or
Should we go around the league a little bit?
We should, but I was going to just, last point to Adam, though, is technically only 1-1. We're a really great team, but we've only won 1 in 2020. We need to win again. So you should get more mad at like the Astros and Yankees and other teams who have won more in the past 30 years than we have.
The Astros who got swept by the Yankees.
They did, and that was a beautiful thing. So we're going to do a little rapid fire.
Trash.
We're going to do a little rapid fire around the league. You want to start us off there?
Well, like I just said, the Yankees swept the trash. And Juan Soto is a star. I texted my family who are Yankee fans to ask how they felt about the Yankee series. And then I texted my cousins who are Mets fans to ask them. Very different responses. From my Mets family,
Can imagine.
They said, the Mets suck and I hate the Yankees. Which is, a true Mets fan. And my Yankee family are so happy and they just said, we love Juan Soto.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be a free agency. He's going to be a free agent next year, too. So that's going to be...
They only got him for 1 year?
His contract is up. So I think they acquired his contract, if I'm not mistaken.
He's fitting in really well.
I mean, the Yankees, to Adam's point, has the money to where, like, depending on how he does, they can match whatever offer anybody else would give.
He looks good in
if
the
they
Yankee
want
uniform. He seems to be fitting in well. I like to see it. And the Orioles won against the Angels.
Yeah. But Angels took the last game. And that was on Easter Sunday, so it felt appropriate, Jesus and the Angels.
I didn't think about that, but you know what? I like it. I like where your head's at with that.
Just bring it back to church.
Braves, Phillies, that's a big series. I like to watch those.
Yeah.
Braves took 2 out of 3. They only played 3. 1 got rained out.
Good old weather.
Actually, our game almost got rained out.
We had rain. Remember how last episode I talked about how we had like the best weather? We still stand by that. We do have the best weather for like ballparks.
Today was beautiful.
We still played the games though, but we did get rain. Unusually
the rain has
wet
been
season.
Ridiculous. I do remember when I first moved here, and I don't know if you feel similarly, but I just never thought that I would have the thought of I miss rain.
I know.
Because it's so beautiful every day that sometimes you just want one day to be rainy and not feel guilty when you just want to lay in bed and watch movies.
Sometimes you miss a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
When you grew up with them, the sound of it,
thunderstorms.
it's very soothing.
But the rain the last couple of years has been pretty crazy.
Makes beautiful flowers, not as great mudslides. The Pacific Coast Highway right now
People in LA don't know what to do when it rains. They don't know how to drive. They cancel every plan because it's the end of the world. It's really funny.
It's like last year when there was like the Hurricane Hillary thing. And
remember the hype? I went out and looked for flashlights. They were sold out everywhere.
Y'all, I grew up with like hurricanes and tornadoes.
It was like a light rain.
It was nothing.
It didn't end up being what they thought it would.
Which is good. We don't want it to be as bad. It felt like the
pandemic with people going out and like instead of buying toilet paper, they were buying flashlights and stuff like that.
The pandemic was real.
Overreaction, like what happens in baseball quite often.
Oh, we love an overreaction in baseball,
Where did we leave off?
Pirates sweep the Marlins.
Did Teo, on a nickname basis with him already? Was he from the Marlins?
No, I think he was Seattle. Yeah, he's Mariners. Okay. He was Mariners before.
The Blue Jays and the Rays split the series.
Yes, because our boy is on the Blue Jays.
I'm so happy for him. Do we want to talk about him for a second, or do we want to get to him later?
I'm okay with that.
We're talking about Justin Turner.
Yeah. We,
for a team that has really listened to the fans, and I choose to think that they listen to the fans, and that's partly why Kike and Joe Kelly came back. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. But I really do wonder their thought process with trading Justin Turner, because he was such an important part of the clubhouse. He was such a leader on that team. He was there for 10 years? I still feel a little heartbroken about losing him.
It does feel weird to not have him on the team anymore because we did have him for so long.
I wonder.
But I think it was a roster construction, unfortunately. I think it had to do with the roster construction. And at some point...
Was it him or Muncy?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
But, all right. Now, just stick with me on this for a sec. I do believe we all have our own journeys we go on in life. Mm-hmm. And
it's the life
because I have to spin things positive to accept him leaving the Dodgers, I've heard talk, and I think that he would be an amazing manager one day. So maybe it's in his best interest to play for different teams, different leagues. Now he's in a different country, and have that perspective for when he is a future manager.
There you go. You just manifesting, throwing it out there. There you go. You heard it here first.
That'd be cool if that happened.
Wouldn't be mad about it.
That helps me accept the situation.
She's like, that's how I cope. That's how I cope
But
with
it could be very true. It could be his journey he's going on.
I completely agree. KC Royals avoided a sweep, winning final game 11-0 versus the Minnesota Twins, yo.
I love those high-scoring games.
Oh, they're fun.
Do you remember when the Dodgers won 22-1 against the D-backs?
Yeah,
I remember watching that game and
it was insane.
Feeling like, why isn't everyone talking about this right now?
Yeah. Those are games where you're like, this is not every day. This is very
Albert Pujols was on our team
extraordinary.
that year.
Oh, Albert. He was a fun one.
T.O. Albert.
You know, my first...
I want that shirt.
You know, he... Oh, yeah.
You know, they make all those shirts.
Yeah, that would be great.
I want one of those. I really loved the year he was on the Dodgers. The hugs after the home runs.
Oh, all the different celebrations are just so much fun.
And then he comes back and hits 699 and 700 at Dodger Stadium. Mm-hmm. The only person I'll ever be happy that hits on the opposing team.
Yeah.
Home run.
You made an exception for that moment.
That was really cool. Yeah. I wish I was there, but I was watching.
Same.
And that was really cool.
Can't afford to go to every game. But if I could teleport to Dodger Stadium
out one to go to, though,
from
soon.
the west side, if I could teleport and had unlimited funds, I would probably go to every game. Mm-hmm. And I would sit right
I've considered moving to Silver Lake to be closer.
Well, I lived in Los Feliz, and it was still
you were
kind
doing
of far, but
commute.
it was lovely. But yeah, this commute was brutal, so I just finally had to give up and move over here. But
we're on the west side where I've noticed, and maybe this is also why the Talk Dodgers to me and chasing people happen. There's less. It's a lot of artsy creatives, which is great. Not as many sports fans.
Diehard sports fans.
More surfers. It's beachy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love living over here. But during baseball season, I do wish that I lived in Silver Lake.
We need helicopter to just take us to Dodger Stadium from the west side. That's the other thing too. If you don't live in LA, you may or may not have heard about it, but the traffic is absolutely horrendous. And so to go 12 miles will take you an hour and a half in traffic, which is stupid, but that's the world.
I do think when you've lived here long enough, you just know what times not to go places, but it's really just inevitable when you're going to Dodger Stadium that it's going to take a long time. So you got to leave really early.
Yeah, but
and that
back
takes
to
us
it.
To
Rangers win 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, which we have our old boy Seager.
Wasn't the first game
beating Bellinger, but then Bellinger won a game himself.
You're right.
Well, he didn't win the game, but he's on the team who won the game technically. So
Giants and Padres, our competition.
Yeah. Oh, you missed the D-backs. I mean, I guess we did mention it, but D-backs against
16-1
the sweet Colorado Rockies.
Wow. That must have been a fun game for them.
Yeah. And that was at Chase Field, I'm pretty sure.
Let's talk about the Diamondbacks for a second, who actually I learned. Ooh. Did you tell me you hate Jock Peterson, Adam? Yeah. I love Jock Peterson. And Jock Peterson is really close with Clayton Kershaw. And I read or saw that they're selling a picture from Game 1 of last year's postseason of Kershaw looking real sad on the mound as he was giving up 5 runs.
Rude.
And didn't they learn anything from the Padres when they put a crying Kershaw meme up and then lost to us the rest of the season?
Look.
Karma.
Let's let
You don't do that.
karma be a bitch. I'm here for it. Let's let that happen.
That's just poor sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. And I think if Jock knew that was happening, he'd say, get it out of here.
You think you wouldn't be okay with it?
I don't think he'd be okay with it.
I mean, I hope
it's not a good look.
Especially if they're friends. I would hope not. But
it's not a good look.
Yeah.
What was also not a good look that I kind of mentioned for a second, but I guess you didn't see Rhys Hoskins sliding the Brewers and Mets game.
Oh, wait. Yes. That's the controversial thing, right?
Yeah, if it was a dirty slide or not.
Yeah.
Maybe we pull it up and just watch it real quick. I didn't think so. I thought it was totally fine. And who's the Met? O'Neill?
Yeah.
I wrote it on here somewhere. Jeff McNeil. Close.
I was like, O'Neill.
I also asked my Mets cousins. They didn't think it was a dirty slide. So if they're even admitting it.
Wow.
But then McNeil got really mad. Benches cleared. And Rhys Hoskins pulled a Joe Kelly and was doing the crybaby face.
Oh. Well, did he get suspended for 8 games?
And then the next game, or 2 games later, the pitcher throws at him, ends up throwing it behind him. And Muncy made a good point when he was on Foul Territory and was like, listen, if you're going to do that, which, they're going to do it, you got to do it right away. You can't wait 2 games.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
And anyway, Rhys won the whole thing because he did really well that series.
Yeah.
So I do think the Mets were kind of being a little crybabies.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't tell your cousins that. Oh, but they agreed, seems, so it's fine. Maybe do tell your cousins.
I think they've just accepted that it's really tough to be a Mets fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they can do better than last year.
Yeah. I mean, they got Verlander and Scherzer for a hot second
and
then gave them back.
And it just, burnt to the ground.
I think they thought they were going to be a postseason contender. And then once they realized
they
weren't,
did all that. Mm-hmm. And then once they realized they weren't, they were just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
But anyway, last little bits, and then we'll expand on some other ones. But we got Red Sox and Mariners split series. The Guardians win series. A's get a walk-off game 4 to beat the Guardians in front of...
A walk-off walk, I think it was.
Yeah, a walk-off walk in front of 4,000 fans.
I know. Isn't that crazy when you think Dodger Stadium has 45 to 55,000 fans every game?
Yeah.
Well, Dodger Stadium also has one, the most, attendance rate every year.
Yeah, we have the most attendance of any.
You have the biggest stadium. Of
course he's going to say that. Can you fact check that?
I know it for a fact. I don't have to fact check it.
I'm just curious.
You have a bigger stadium.
Who are the top 3 biggest stadiums?
Good question. Oh, he's annoyed, but he's gonna look it up.
I bet it's. I bet someone else has a bigger.
Okay, well, speaking of stadiums,
what did you think of the opening ceremony?
Oh, where they all came out on the carpet and saw their families. It was really sweet.
It was really sweet.
Yeah.
Did you like that their families were on the blue carpet high-fiving them?
I did. I thought it was nice and personal, and I enjoyed that.
I think it meant a lot to the players.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
They get to see their loved ones, and then they get to go out there and kill it.
You can't really feel how loud it is at the stadium when you're watching in a video, and I just wanted to know how loud it was.
It was probably insane and incredible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Top
Adam?
3 stadiums. Dodger Stadium, 56,000. They can hold more. Coors Field, 50,000. The Rockies suck, so nobody goes to their games.
Hey.
Chase Field, 48,000.
It doesn't, just because they have a big stadium doesn't mean that fans are going to fill it.
I've been to all 3 of those stadiums, I'm proud to say. And you're right. Rocky Stadium, it's not always full, but
it looks really beautiful. I'd love to go and see.
It is gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, you see the mountains in the back, obviously the Rocky Mountains, and great sunsets. It's just a really beautiful place to watch a game, and it's a beautifully built stadium, I will say. And they obviously have diehard fans who are going to go to go to those games, but they also have this. They have the part of the stadium, it's in the upper deck area, where it's more of just a social, casual thing. You go and people get beers and aren't really watching the game per se, but it's a thing to do. And the stadium's awesome because it's in the downtown of downtown Denver. Like, it's right there next
I
to a
wish
bunch
there
of
were
breweries
places
and
to walk
bars.
around outside
You literally
Dodger
just
Stadium.
walk right in,
That's cool.
which is very nice. It's built strategically and
Have you been to Shortstop?
incredibly well. I have, yeah. The bar next to
never
Dodger
been.
Stadium. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We should go.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Let's go.
Yeah.
You usually go like after the game, I think, is typically.
Or we go there to watch
Or you
a
go
game.
before. That's a far drive to just. Let's go to the game.
We can recruit people there to listen to the podcast. Because that's our audience.
Reds take 2 of 3 over Nationals, and Tigers sweep White Sox in game series.
It's funny when I was writing this, I forgot
Yeah.
a lot of these teams existed.
Oh. I don't think I can say I've ever done that. She only has room in her mind for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers alone.
Did we say talk Dodgers to me yet?
I think.
We introduced the podcast, right?
Talk Dodgers to me. Talk Dodgers to me an hour late. No,
Oh, we can't do that.
we can't do. I told you we have to pay copyright. Correct? We have to pay for it and everything else that we do. So I'm pretty sure.
I'll bleep it out.
Good, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, no. So tell me though. My one of my many loves, Mr. Kike Hernandez. Talk to me about his on-field interview.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear it?
I did.
It was so weird. It sounded like a robot, but it was cool to hear what the players hear. Mm-hmm. It is not okay that the whole broadcast could hear it. Luckily, I did. Someone said that it was a 5-minute delay, so they couldn't do any cheating. I really
Not
do.
that we're accusing.
I really do like the infield interviews, but I don't know if like.
Do you enjoy it, or do you think it's a distraction, or like you seem iffy about it?
Well, I'm also thinking about the player. Like, how are you being present in what's going on and also answering questions?
Well, maybe it's like riding a bike.
I think if you're in the outfield,
Yeah.
it's, it's a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, that Miggy Rowe video last year was hilarious. Mm-hmm. He's like, hold on, let me just make this play real quick.
Yeah, that is fun. I do enjoy those moments. I'm like, okay, cool. Just like flip your switch.
I love any aspect to get to know the players a little more and hear that banter. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if any of that is changing after that PitchCom leak. But I'd always want to hear from Kike.
He can talk to me anytime.
He's getting a little slow start.
Yeah, he's not quite. Look, I never said that some of my favorite players were the best on the field. I mean, I'm down for them to be.
We both really love Kike Hernandez and Joe Kelly.
I just like their attitudes and personalities and demeanors. Like, I think they're they seem like such a fun time to be around and great team players. And so, I don't think that you have to have your favorite players to be like the best of all time. I think there's different reasons why.
Well, for a long time,
gravitate.
they probably were the most personable.
Yeah.
Did you read Joe Kelly's book yet?
I
just read the first 5 pages. That's all. Like,
okay.
For now.
Well, I want to read the whole thing, but I'll read the first 5 and
then
I'll
we
tell
can
you
talk
what I think.
about
The first 5.
the first 5 pages.
Oh boy.
In the
What
first
happens
page,
in
you
the
get
first 5?
everything you want.
So what they just like put it all there and the rest of the book is
He really
not
gets
worth it?
you. No, the book is great.
Or I mean, you just mean like he really grabs you.
Well, I'm sure
grabs
other
your
Dodger
attention.
fans like me really wanted to hear from a player's perspective about the Astros cheating scandal.
Fair.
Fair. And he gives it to us in the first 5 pages.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
And I'm just excited to hear what you think about it so we could talk about it.
Yeah. Can we get a game update?
Giants won, Dodgers won.
Okay, fine.
He sounds really thrilled about that.
0-0, but there's still a lot of time left, right?
Top of the 3rd.
Okay, yeah, there's still a lot of time left here.
We're good.
She's got it up over there. I like it. I know. I could be doing the same thing.
I know. We're going to be here after hours.
We're going to have to.
Quite often. So we're going to have to keep up with the score during the pod.
Has Mookie... Yeah, Mookie did get a hit, so I have a streak of 2. That's what I said. Oh, circling back around, you should start doing Beat the Streak with me.
Okay, like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pick 2 batters that you think are going to get a hit.
Great.
And, maybe fun. One of us, makes a rich off this. Adam, you can play too.
This is like the drink you made me when I came over.
Whoops. Yeah.
We had a bonding night, guys, and Allie cooked me dinner.
I did.
We just chatted and got to know each other because, as you learned in the first episode, we really only talk about baseball.
Yeah.
Because we're just so excited that we have someone to talk about it with.
I literally just learned her middle name today, and it happens to be mine. So that is pretty wild.
We actually have a lot in common.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Do you know what I'm thinking?
No.
Of what we have in common? That we learned when you cooked me dinner? That we were both competitive cheerleaders?
Oh, dear God. Well, I wasn't planning to bring that up on this thing.
Why? I'm proud of it. That was my life for 10 years.
I was a cheerleader who loved doing it, but I was peppy and that sort of thing. But
Were
I
you
didn't
a cheerleader for your school, like high school?
Yes, but I didn't come off like I wasn't your typical cheerleader that's like, oh, she's like, I don't know. I mean, I hung out with everybody, so I wouldn't say I was in like the popular crowd per se.
Who you were in high school.
Oh God, I don't know who I was in high school.
Just give us a little debrief.
No. I was just I think I'm a very different person now than I was in high school. And you know how people say oftentimes how they wish they could, mostly I think it's because people don't want to pay bills. They're like, oh, I wish I could go back to high school where everything was just like simpler and easier and I didn't have to worry about being paid.
Happy in their lives.
And I was like, bro, I like being an adult. I prefer being an adult. I want to work and pay bills. I do not want to go back to being an adolescent teenager that has to be in school. Absolutely not. But I don't know. I think I just think I was a very different person then. But I loved cheerleading for one, goes back to my sports love. I got to go to every sports game for free. That's partly why I was a cheerleader. I got to go to every football game, every basketball game for free.
You were cheerleaders for basketball?
Mm-hmm. We were like one team year round for both of those sports, and we were really good. A handful of us were competitive cheerleaders as well. So I did competitive cheerleading and I did
me too.
My high school cheerleading, and we were like legit. We tumbled all over the place. I
actually did some stunting on Sunday at the beach.
Okay, I would break my back if I did that now.
Doing it in your 30s is very different. I actually took an adult gymnastics class last year.
Yeah.
But I was a competitive cheerleader for 10 plus years, and it was an all-star team outside of my school. And it was like 30 minutes away, so I'd go 3 times a week, really intense practices. And we were really good. Yeah. I traveled every weekend.
Did you go to Worlds ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
In Orlando.
Same.
And we won.
Wait, what team were you on?
Just Cheer All-Stars.
Okay, I was on Ace All-Stars. Ace All-Stars of Alabama.
I remember them.
Yeah, but I think they're still around and still
it's just
really
crazy.
Good.
Like, it feels like lifetimes ago.
It was.
I used to be able to do a lot of cool stuff.
I was doing fulls or working on my full, and then my back went out when I was 17. So that's why
that was my tumbling pass.
I would be. I'm broken a little bit now. Like everything hurts. I know they say that. I know they say that.
Apparently,
yeah, probably it will at the end of this. I'm sure too. That's what they tell you, that like when you hit your 30s, everything starts to break down and you're just going to like wake up and things will hurt. That happened to me in my 20s, but there wasn't a new level of it when I hit my 30s. I was like, oh, ow. Yeah. You just wake up and you're like, I just slept wrong. I don't understand. But I do think that cheerleading and the jarring of your spine with tumbling and being thrown in the air and throwing people in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Did a number on that.
I watched someone's arm like come out of its socket once. I would have to get taped up left and right, but I loved it at the time.
Oh, you couldn't have convinced me otherwise.
Life, so that's really what high school was for me. Yeah. I was traveling every weekend.
Well, you couldn't have convinced me otherwise to not do it, even if 1-year-old me could go back and tell myself,
maybe we should do a tumbling class.
Absolutely not.
Come on.
But if 31-year-old me went back and told 17-year-old me, like, hey, stop doing this, you're going to end up with, a jacked up lower back, spine, neck, rotator cuff issues.
You would listen?
I don't think I would have.
No.
I would have been like, no, I love this. It's fine. I'm going to be fine. Everything's okay. Like, I'm doing it anyway. I was a very stubborn child. That's who I was. Still kind of am.
So when I took that class, I found one in the Valley. And when I went, there's no coaches or anyone to spot you. And I haven't really tried to do anything besides
dangerous.
Besides run off back handsprings, like on the beach or wherever.
I'm impressed you could still do that.
That's about it.
Well done.
I said to myself, like back in the day, I always want to be able to do a standing back tuck. Now I'm petrified to try. I did try on the floor at the gymnastics place.
But you used to be able to do that, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I went to the place in Burbank,
oh crap, Giants scored.
there was no one to spot me, so I was scared to try things. What was cool though was everyone that was there worked in stunts on movies, so they were all trying different things, the craziest stuff, and they had no fear. And they're way younger than me.
You can't have any fear.
So you know, they line up and you do tumbling passes. And I'm like doing the same thing because I'm afraid to really try.
The fact that you did that, though, I'm impressed.
I made a friend and we were helping each other out. But it was cool to watch everybody else.
I could only do that stuff still if I had I need like the trampoline. You know, like the trampoline.
They had a
long
foam
runways. Pit, okay.
But I would have loved a tumble track.
Because I would do that. But like normal ground.
But these stunt people,
no way.
They were flying in the air.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's insane
I could have just sat there and watched them the whole time.
Look, had we not quit, well, had I not got injured and had you chosen, I guess, to stop, we could have had a futurist stunt women. But I have a friend who's one, and she's got a lot of issues, injuries, and just like maybe not it.
Yeah. It would be cool. I would love to try it like for a day.
Back in baseball world, since that's really what this podcast is. Giants scored, sadly, so it is 2-1 right now.
I don't want to talk about it.
Mid-third.
No, I'm just kidding.
So we got
third inning.
Kike is due up, then Mookie and Shohei. We're gonna get it back. It's gonna be fine. But I mean, do we got anything else? Any other thoughts, Melissa? What else is on your mind?
Always a lot. You know what I learned?
What did you learn?
One of our clubhouse attendants is RJ Pete, who is Holly Robinson Pete, who is an actress, and she's married to Rodney Pete, who does Rogan and Rodney, or is it Rodney and Rogan?
No, it's Rogan and Rodney.
Yeah, it's
their son. I was going to ask you who are all those people, but I know that name.
So he has a show where they talk about LA sports, and he's a former NFL player, I believe. Adam, can you fact check that? Rodney Pete. I'm pretty sure he was a quarterback in the NFL. But RJ has autism, and there was a whole Backstage Dodgers episode about it, and really Rodney coming to terms with it, and now they have such a great relationship, and he's in his 9th year as a clubhouse attendant at Dodger Stadium. I also loved how on opening day they announced all of the clubhouse attendants too. So he got his moment, and I just think that's really cool.
Once again, an organization that seems to really care, and I love that about them. Well, because what is the player's name?
Andrew Tolles.
Yes, that is
how many years in a row
story.
Have they signed him?
I think it's
so.
Like
Andrew
9
Tolles is schizophrenic.
I think so. He's got like
He has a lot of mental health issues. He played for the Dodgers years ago, and ever since he left, I guess had periods of time where he was homeless and found him sleeping at an airport. But they've continued to renew his contract so that he can keep his health insurance, which I think is really cool. And it's been a lot of years. Yeah. I was looking at their roster. I wanted to know how much like Bobby Miller and James Outman make. I was curious. Valid. So I looked at their roster, and it shows everybody's salaries, and the last one is Andrew Tolles.
I love that.
I'm sure that other organizations also are great, and that they also do great things.
That's true. We're not saying Dodgers are the only ones. They're just the ones that we know about.
There is a 1988 documentary on the Dodgers that Bryan Cranston is. Yes. Oh my God, I want to talk about him for a second, because how do we get his life? He was, if you watch the opening ceremony, it's
be an incredible actor
all the
and
Dodger
the
players,
guy who gets to do
Dave
everything.
Roberts, and then there's Bryan Cranston just at the end of the row calling the starting lineup in the most amazing way, like the most enthusiasm. I mean, he's an actor.
Yeah.
And big Dodger fan, but how
Where
do
you
we
were
get to
asking
be
how
on
to get
his level?
his life, and I was like, well, you have to first become an incredible actor.
We just really had fun our first episode.
Just maybe we'll have Bryan
and
Cranston
we just can't wait
one day.
to talk to everybody about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Ashley,
It won't
Brian,
just be
David Vassay,
Melissa and I
Sujo.
every day. Every podcast. It won't.
Every after hours.
Every after hours. We'll have a few other people. But, there's other people that want to
Do you think he practiced
have Dodgers talk to them.
saying the starting lineups names?
I mean, probably. I don't know. Do actors do that? I think they do. Do they run lines? Is he a method actor? Do we know?
I don't know. Do you
They
know
just
how to
really get into character?
Do you watch Breaking Bad?
Okay, no one sue me. I haven't seen it.
I've never seen it.
Wow. Okay, we might be the only two people on planet Earth. It is incredible. From what I've heard, I've
heard it's incredible
want
too.
to watch it one day.
What's your favorite genre?
That's tough for me because I like comedy. I love to laugh and I love heartfelt things. I don't mind crying. I hate scary.
Me too.
I am not a scary or a thriller type human.
Me either.
And you couldn't pay me to watch those
TV
kinds
is
of
like
movies.
an escapism, and escapism to me is non-anxiety inducing.
I like that answer.
So it's a happy ending, predictable stories.
Oh yeah. I'm a sucker for a rom-com.
Comedy.
I mean, hit me with it. I don't mind it. But the reason I say is it's hard for me to say specifically is because I watch so much sports that's the majority of where my
I watch a lot of
movie
documentaries.
watching would be. I make docs. I watch a lot of docs because I have to. I don't, but it's my day job.
Is that like when you're a chef and you don't like to cook at home because
It might
you're cooking
be
all day?
It might be because for me, watching a doc is not escapism. To me, watching a doc is work, and I am paying attention to it, and I am critiquing it most of the time because that's just where my brain goes. But I don't necessarily. I mean, I feel that way sometimes with scripted things, but not always. Those I can tune out a little bit more. But for me, sports is really where I go with that. But to your point with like a chef, like I love cooking, but it's the reason I didn't want to be a chef because I didn't want it to like ruin my love for it. Something.
Well, I think about that with the cookies because
Yes. You got to bring cookies sometime to show the fans.
I will, but it.
I like how I'm saying we already have fans.
I don't like to be like negative about anything, but it changed how much I love baking for sure.
Really? Oh, and there's a point to that.
But I'm really doing a whole rebrand with the cookie business right now and going in a direction that I'm really excited about. So I'm baking more and enjoying it more right now.
Good. Are you baking other things?
No.
Or just cookies?
Just cookies.
Okay.
Well, it's allowing me to want to bake other things, like just in life.
Yeah.
Because there was no way.
Got it.
But I will bring cookies.
She needs to bring cookies so she can show all of you folks.
I actually haven't had one of my cookies.
Beautiful, incredibly. Maybe she'll make us some Dodger cookies just perfectly for this podcast. Maybe it'll be for when we have our first guest. She'll make Dodger cookies to show all of you. I like how I threw that in there that we're going to show it to the fans.
Ron likes my
we're gonna
cookies.
have fans. I don't know. Our fans might just be friends and family, but we're going to have fans nonetheless. Just like the Dodgers have fans, as we are. But to wrap this up, to your point of the cookie changing how you love to bake, that's something that I've talked to Charlie about. So
Ooh, tell me.
We're bringing it back to Charlie, good old Mr. Steiner.
Who I'm pretty sure was here when they threw me the Dodger birthday party.
He may have been.
And you didn't tell me.
I'm sorry. He's done a few recordings for me. Look, I don't like to abuse my
I
friendships.
wouldn't have embarrassed you or me. I wouldn't have been a fangirl or anything.
We'll see.
I would have been cool.
So she says. But
I swear.
Charlie has mentioned that like he always wanted to do the job he's doing, and he loves
amazing.
baseball. But it has changed the love of it for him. So
And I wonder if talking about the Dodgers this much is going to change our love.
it might.
Or just keep
I
it
hope
growing, which I
But-
think is what's going to happen.
that said, is Charlie, get better. We miss you, buddy. And who do we miss this week?
Corey
Seager.
Corey Seager.
He's just so damn good.
Double MVP. AL and NL.
You know he's the only person to ever do that?
Isn't that cool? Go
ahead.
Seager. We're still rooting for you.
Go Siegs. I don't mind
And
the
Maddie.
Rangers. There you go.
You knew that one.
I did. I know he's married to Maddie.
Okay.
Matt. What? Yeah. Okay. I got that one. I got a few of them. You know.
All right.
Anywho, that's all for now. Have a great night. I think we're running out of battery.
Go Dodgers.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, it's 2-2 now.
Go Dodgers. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not dead.
Bye.
See ya.
Whoops. Cheers.
Cheers.